Mr. City Policeman, little policeman. In a row. Yeah, I don't know why I started singing that song. It gets into my bloody head sometimes, eh? I am the Eggman. They are the Eggman. I am the Walrus. Goo-goo-ga-joob. Goo-goo-ga-joob. Goo-goo. You know what I think the Eggman, the Walrus is, sorry. We know what the Eggman is. Dripping yellow custard. Yellow muddy custard. Dripping from a dead dog's eye. Waiting for the van to come. So the yellow muddy custard. Matter custard. Pardon my years of indoctrination as a little preschool child or kindergarten child. Until it became so fucking meaningless that I can't even pronounce my and You know, I can't even say truck properly half the time now. It's like truck. Boop. Anyway, that's enough about my whinging. Yellow murder custard, dripping from a dead dog's eye. I am here, you are here, and you are me. We are all together. See how they run like pigs from a gun. See how they fly. I'm crying. Yeah, so this is the ugly truth that nobody wants to hear about. What did he mean by being the walrus? This one's gonna hurt. Not as much as it hurt John Lennon, mind you. If you look at the album cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and you see what they're holding. John Lennon got absolutely reamed, but hey, small price to pay compared to what Paul McCartney lost his head. Car accident. Now, if your best friend goes and loses his head in a car accident, it gets even trippier than that. But basically, I'll get to the trippy bit in a second. I'm still having trouble dealing with this, what happened to John Lennon. And of course Ringo Pink. Nobody was interested in him, he was already gay. But for John the Stud, the big man of the Beatles, losing his best friend, beheaded because they thought they could stand up to you know who. If you don't, then why are you even watching? He got reamed after the band came and picked him up, of course, and took him to the underground chambers, the cloning centres, and basically had him drugged out of his mind. So if you're a walrus, you're laying on your belly, your arms and legs may as well just be flippers. Goo-goo-ga-joob. As the powerful elites go through you. Not pretty at all, is it? It's a wonder that Epstein didn't have his picture on the cover as well, or maybe he does. I'll have to take another look at the cover. We've certainly got Crowley. But here's where it really starts to mess with you. Is that, let's assume for a second that you know how they harness adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is basically the blood secretions that from the adrenaline from somebody who's being tortured, severe amount of torture, usually children, because children being so innocent when they are hung upside down with hooks through their heels and mercilessly tortured. The adrenochrome that they produce and pump through their blood system is very, very pure, and that's what's prized by the elites who love this adrenochrome. But, you know, these are just anonymous children. You can only have so much of anonymous children, kidnapped victims, you know, hundreds of thousands of children go missing every year. There's only so much adrenochrome you can harvest from anonymous innocent children. But when you've got a celebrity, it's not so much that their adrenochrome is any better or more pure or whatever. It's still exactly the same. It's still the same stuff, but it has a price tag because it's like a brand name, isn't it? It's like a Gucci bag or a Ferrari car, whatever has their brand name attached to it, the Mercedes, you know, the BMW. That makes it more valuable just because it has the name attached. So when you've got Paul McCartney adrenochrome harvested as he's dying after being beheaded and tortured previously and written off as a car, not even admitted as a car crash, mind you. It was never even officially said. That they said that Billy, what's his name, fella who we call Paul today, who got knighted for his efforts, and if you look on the album cover, he's the one in blue with the upright clarinet like a soldier, not like Paul and Ringo just lamely holding this tubular thing with a massive big gaping hole. The whole album cover is also a tribute to the actual Paul McCartney, the flowers, the gravestone, the whole thing. It's quite a clever, what would you call, in plain sight yet hidden album cover. You have a look at it, it's full of them. So this is the one that someone's cooking dinner here as well. Isn't it great to cook dinner and be thinking these thoughts at the same time? But it has to be said, I think. Because if it's not said, it could be just one of those things that gets taken to the grave. Now, as you know, I'm not a whistleblower. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist person. You know, like, I've been there, done that, and sometimes you just gotta come right out and talk about it. And so what I think happened with Paul McCartney is absolutely horrendous. The real Paul McCartney, tortured, killed, and his adrenochrome on the elite's market These people trade in things that, it wouldn't even make sense for us to even talk about, like houses and real estate and that. To them, it's like palaces, castles, islands, hidden lands, things that we can't even begin to imagine. No, I'm an island boy. Yeah, there's a lot of island boys. Um, so you know where this is going? No, you don't, because I haven't even hinted at it yet. But now I'm going to come right out and say what I think really happened to Princess Diana when she died in a car accident. Because at least in slightly more modern times, there is a little bit more media has sort of followed it. And her adrenochrome was top shelf. They kept her alive for several hours inside that tunnel. It was planned. That particular tunnel is, you don't have to hear it from me to know that it was a ritualistic sacrificial place from antiquity. And so by keeping her alive for all those hours and torturing her mercilessly, they could write it off as a car accident. The adrenochrome harvested from her. You think gold is worth something? Most people couldn't imagine how much gold you would have to trade for a few drops of the adrenochrome they harvested of Princess Lady Diana. You've got no idea what is going on in the unseen worlds. She was a true princess. Yeah, of course. Doesn't mean that her children were born to Charles, King of Britain. Mate, you couldn't even look after your own. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that path. Charles knows he's not the king. And I have no doubt that he has partaken of the adrenochrome of Lady Diana, as have they all that can afford it. You got no idea.